All right, b4. We know our next move. Ooh, f6. So yes, it still has the idea of bishop takes on b4, but it's potentially at the cost of, you know, being the move f6, not the greatest, let's say. All right, c5. Now, for the first time, I think c4 allowing d4 is not really what I want to do. So I find myself a little bit more interested, instead of this, in perhaps playing pawn takes. But then the knight comes out and, you know, I'm not entirely sure about that. But it's clear to me that c4, d4 looks like it almost locks things up unfavorably. So I find myself interested in taking just to try to get c4 in there. So let's try this. We'll take that. And it looks like all the pieces are kind of going to be developing to the usual squares. Go knight f3, bishop d6. Knight c3, a6. Okay, really doesn't like that move. I understand that. I'm actually looking at this, starting to wonder. I don't think that we need to do anything there. Let's get developed. I think we'll bring our rook over. I'm actually wondering about rook b1. Perhaps this other rook could be useful there. Let's do this. Sort of waiting for that moment to potentially counterattack. Okay, bishop there. I guess we could consider this. We'll probably see rook rook b8 there, even though we have some ideas. And queen h4 feels like honestly the wrong stuff. So let's go here first. Knight b4. Wonder what happens after queen b3. I almost want to just go back to d1. I feel like his knight will get kicked out as well. Yeah, I think this makes sense. He's kind of played a6, so I might go for the same idea. Like both of our knights want to jump into these squares. They can't really. Knight here. I was going to play a3, so I think I'll just go ahead and do that. Whoa. Okay, some very high energy stuff here. Let's take. Rook a1 to threaten a6. We also have queen b3 check, maybe. What? What the hell is going on here? Resignation? What's occurring? I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to say? What the hell was that? I feel like that doesn't make a lot of sense. That was a great opportunity. He was down one pawn, but I mean, surely that's not reason enough to resign. Pawn sushi, absolutely you can. Well, I guess we're gonna jump to the next one, but yeah, the c5 move was interesting. I couldn't really decide if taking was correct, but it felt to me like c4, d4 was not correct. I don't like this shut out bishop, so we made the decision that at least kept it, you know, relatively open. And this was a mistake, but I didn't feel that it was a mistake that, you know, should be resignable after. Evidently, he thought so. All right, b4, bishop b2. Because a6 is played, we're probably going to play a3 here. I simply can't play b5, so it's not really an option for us. Let's play e3. I think I will play h3 and then most likely I'll play c4 as well. Question is, do I want to start with h3? One thing about e4 is we're never losing material because we have this. So I am interested in something like that. He does go for this. We have the option to take and take back, but usually the way that you handle this is you play h3. Even though it looks like we're losing material, we shouldn't be because of g4. Okay, takes. And I think we'll take here. Also tempting to capture there, but the tempo that we'll gain against the queen is quite nice here. We also have the bishop pair, an open rook. I like this position. Okay, castles. I mean, it's really hard to resist the move g5 just because it comes with such a nice threat, but after you castle, good habit is to play king b8. If he's in a good habit, he'll play it. If not, man, he'll be in trouble. And that's a full queen. Oh, and even more material after that. Yeah, that's definitely going to be GG here. Okay. I don't feel that he's really playing the game anymore, unfortunately. Doesn't quite have his heart in it anymore. The duality of the, 1700s? You know, the last guy we played? Amazing game. This guy, a little bit less so. To keep it diplomatic. Just unfortunate to miss bishop h3, but that's a hard lesson learned. When you castle queenside, you cannot have your queen lined up and think that you're safe from that. You gotta keep shuffling. But already I think we have a really, really nice position. We're gonna long castle ourselves, play d4. We have this bishop. Yeah, a really nice position for white. So I do like this attempt, trying to imbalance the game here. Also h3 would just win the bishop, so that could be a nice move as well. If bishop h5, then we just win the e-pawn. Okay, big 1800 here. Let's go b4. Bishop b2. b5, so we don't hang that pawn. I think we probably do want to play c4. And we can also play knight f3, looks good. He goes here. I don't think there's really a way to avoid the reality, which is that we'll probably need to trade there. I hate doing it, but... Ooh, okay. We have another option. We can take this way. I believe that taking this way is probably correct. The benefit of this is I don't think these pieces develop very easily. But, oh. Okay, I was actually about to say a takes b5 is going to be my move, but somehow I didn't even pick up the c-pawn, just going to magically show up there. So, okay, not the move that we wanted to play, but it's the move that we got. Let's play bishop takes b5. We want to castle. And I think knight takes e4 I will consider. Nice pressure here on g7. It will be even more pressure after queen takes a1. Bit strange. He's handing this pawn over to us outright. So I think we can take and just play bishop e5. And I think if rook takes g2, bishop g3 will win the rook. So normally this is a tactic you can rely on. Let's see if that's the case here. The best case for black is probably rook takes g3. Okay, we have an even better move here, queen h8. Otherwise, I would just play king f1, which wins, but I think this one is probably even better. Let's play king here. And yeah, now our king basically castles with king g2, and hopefully the rest of the game is not too difficult. Takes, we could do this. I think it might be a bit better to play knight d4 and try to hang on to that though. e5 can't happen, so we'll probably see knight d7 to play e5, if I had to guess. And it's really only a bit annoying because I'd like to play f4, but it's not very safe. So I think what I will do is king g2. We'll allow this. We'll bring the knight back. And if you want to take, I'll get e5. I think this works out nicely. Okay, and we can go back here, but we also have knight e5, if perhaps that's a bit better. It looks pretty good. Just because it gets trade. If he wants to go for it, that is. Oh, this should be game over now. Yeah, we'll give this check and pick it up. Of course, taking the queen is also super easy. But thought we'd pick up this pawn first. GG. Okay, well, we're not going to be in the territory of, winning free rooks or anything like that, but still, if our opponents go all in on this pawn, a4, c4, support it. It's just funny. I actually was going to play this, which I think is the better move, just barely, but we got duped and in came c takes b5. It's okay. It's not a bad move. Still funny though. All right, b4. Kind of a weird move, bishop e6. I'm wondering if it's a mouse slip, honestly. Like, I'm kind of waiting because isn't he gonna have to move this bishop eventually? A little bit strange. I think we'll just play knight d4. There's nowhere for the bishop to go. We're going to be able to do that. g6. This has to be good. You almost want to play this move, but just have to think about this. Because if bishop here, there is f3. I have a feeling this is actually quite smart. If I take first and go here, there's king f7. What if we go here first? Knight e5 loses. Wow, this move to me also loses in a way. If we take, then black can castle. I think it's probably better to take. I mean, but this is obviously just a very good position. Knight d2, I think. Now, I believe black wants to play this, so we're going to go ahead and stop that altogether. Rook h6, we can bring the bishop back. This move did not appear to be too dangerous looking to me. We'll just guard this pawn, so something like, I don't know, queen e2 or queen f3. a5, we can play a3. We also have c3 if we need to be super solid. The reason I'm putting all these pawns on light squares is, well, I'm enjoying my position with a light squared bishop. Knight g5, I assume. Knight g5, queen d6. We have to make sure we have something there. So perhaps knight e5 is a a bit better. Whoa. There's no way that's a good move. Played it very quick too. It's an 1800 here. Okay, h3, I guess. Let's be a little bit careful and just play g3. We'll take that. Threatening this, also the discover check. Let's go ahead and take. And yeah, I think this game is over. Queen f7, king h6, there's rook takes f6, there's maybe also bishop c1. Yeah, I think rook takes f6 is probably enough. We also have something like bishop d3, but yeah, this looks pretty convincing. With the hanging queen and rook f8, we can do some discover check, and then we have mate there. And this bishop on b2, I feel like did not play a huge role, but didn't have to. It's a lot of hanging pieces. Yeah, gotta dive into the tank here. If you think long enough, you might find a way out. All right. Unfortunately, I think he was going up an elevator during that game. It's unfortunate. Just bad timing, really. b4. Going for this. I mean, I just don't understand bishop e6. Very weird. Breaking basic habits here. You want to play bishop f5 and e6, not bishop e6. And I decided to play this bishop d3 move, and I thought I was really cooking here. Now we just want to stop e5, and then we'll get a great position. Strategically, this position is dead. All right, b4, bishop b2. We trade pawn for pawn, and it looks like we can just take this. I'll say thanks very much. Get this bishop out of there. I feel like c3 is kind of nice. We can play bishop d3, but I don't. Our bishop's no longer on b2 because we took that one. Queen f6. Okay, I mean, I see the idea, but just feels like such a delicate move. Bishop h4. I suppose there's g5, which is barely holding things together. Just barely. There's queen c2 here. What do we like? What do we like? I don't mind the queen c2 idea. Honestly, perhaps just castling is one of the simplest ways to play, but I find myself drawn to this for some reason. In some ways, it seems like the way to go. It kind of simplifies the most, which I think I like. Now we could take, for example. And yeah, after this, but we are now developing everything in a more normal fashion. b5 here. Knight b4 just loses the knight, I think. So yeah, it is going to be a different move there. Let's develop now. So the g-pawn is hanging, which means, you know, we do need to worry about it. So perhaps this is the way to develop. I feel like knight e2 is a reasonable next move. Heads to some nice squares like d4 and f4. I think we're going to castle. I like knight e2 though. I think makes sense as the next move. These pawns are a little bit ineffective here. Probably king g7 if I had to guess. And maybe we take the lazy way out and go queen g5. Just because it simplifies nicely. Bishop's hitting 2 pawns. You got pieces tied down all over the place. Knight to this, rook to that. So it's quite an unpleasant position here. Rook c7 is coming next. I don't think that really stops this idea. h5 is also going to be hanging as soon as he moves the rook. So it's not a great feeling. And I really like the move rook b8. I think if we're allowed to play it, I will do so. It does feel like a smart move. Rook a8, we have rook c7. I feel like it's easiest to just take and then grab every single pawn here. And, you know, if we're not able to win this position, I feel like that's a different story. Try rook f6 here. And then we can deliver a checkmate or get a trade, which is ultimately what we want. All right, GG. Yeah, four pawns against 0 is winning. You know what? 5 pawns with a rook also winning. You'd be surprised. Hey, b4 working out. I mean, we got a 1900 playing this move. I don't understand that. At 1900, you can't be playing chess like that. We get a free pawn in the opening. Yeah, kind of a success. Now, we had to spend some time here, but I'm not pretending like bishop h4 is the only move. So don't think that this was a complicated position that we needed to be careful in. I was just trying to find a way that I thought simplified nicely. And so I calculated that out. But bishop e2 and castle, perfectly fine. Really nothing wrong with that. All right, b4, bishop b2. Oh my goodness, 1900. Are you joking me? A 1900. No, this shatters the rating that I thought this tactic was possible at. Absolutely shatters it. Oh my God, that's incredible. Can never predict that. Well, I mean, obviously we're gonna take. I'm getting ready for potentially queen h5 here. I think we want to do this right away. I also thought about queen h5, but maybe queen f7 will happen. Yeah, let's take. There is queen g4, which would be a winning idea. Now, can we save that bishop? That's really the question. Probably we don't even need to bother. We can just kind of play normally, but it's like a puzzle. Can we rescue this piece? I did not expect that. Try to take this pawn. I really thought that we were going to see queen f7. Anyway, we're up whole rook here, so not very stressful. I think knight to g6 looks good. I think just taking is probably the easiest here. No need to stress. Because we're going to get an even trade for the queen here, and then our bishop's going to escape at the end, so. We're going to be up a full rook. But come on now. 1900? This just can't be real. I mean, literally any single one of us here could have queued up, played this 1900, and the guy would have blundered this. Like, what? A 10-move victory against 1900 here. What the heck? All right, b4, bishop b2. Let's go with knight f3. b5 because it's threatened now. And I feel like we've seen this position before. c4, we want to play knight to c3. c5, now that move I don't know about. It's very tempting to take, so then maybe the knight takes, but it's also tempting to leave it there and say, well, the knight can't really develop, kind of looks like a good position for white. So which one are we going to go with? I can see both. I can see both making a lot of sense here. I think I'll take it. I think I will take it. d4. Knight c3 is tempting, but I'm thinking that perhaps this knight wants to be on d2 instead. Help with e4. Allow this bishop to see the game. Go rook c1, queen e2, try to play e4, rook d1. a3, h3 are small, useful moves. Taking control of e4 here. Okay, we do have knight e5 with some tempo here. I'm also thinking of this because bishop here, maybe knight e5, but then bishop takes b5 is definitely possible. So, is this move annoying? It kind of looks like it might be annoying. Nevertheless, I'm going to play e4. This is what we're here for. Expand in the center. We'd love to say that perhaps things are not that scary and we can just kind of push forward. But I'm not sure we have the authority to do that just yet. Queen a4, bishop b1. I don't know. We're going all in here, but black has some great counterplay. Basically, black's kind of ready for a good endgame. So we are a little bit all in at the moment. Now that our rook's on d1, I feel that d5 is well timed in order to follow up with e5. Knight e4, I don't think this should be good. We can take. I suppose it's playable. Something feels off here for sure. Let's take. Bishop a6 is no good. We probably have to take back. Queen e6. Wish we could play knight g5, but we cannot. Taking in the corner is going to be helpful. Force a rook to go there. That probably doesn't want to. Knight here. No, we probably need to, just like generate a few more threats. Maybe e6 first. You want there to be more threats than there are. But okay. This has to be good, right? Let's take with the knight, I think. Just have to watch out, bishop d6 there. Does this one work? Feels like it should. We have some bishop takes f6 stuff here. And that should be a nice checkmate. Yeah, perhaps before checkmate, we can just enjoy ourselves, just nice little windmill. Yeah. Get a nice check in here. Maybe go back. And come back this way. GG. And that is a brand spanking new 1800 rating. Very nice. I'm in shock. Genuine shock. I can't believe it's working this well. You're telling me I'm getting a 1900 to blunder a full rook? Cannot be. That cannot be the case. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of another episode of the 1b4 speedrun. I hope you found this as tricky and successful as I did in the series. And remember to subscribe to the chessbrah YouTube channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when we drop our next upload.